Welcome to our 2020 Tri-Valley Mayors Summit. My name is Steve Van Dorn. I'm the President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. And I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank our panelists that are here today to talk about important issues that are facing the Tri-Valley.
Okay.
And also want to thank Kathy Narum, Vice Mayor and Pleasanton, for filling in for our mayor. We have over 100 years of experience from these folks that are going to be speaking with us today. So it should be, hopefully we'll have enough time to get into some real meat of these questions that we have for them. Of course, we've got 8 sponsors that have helped us put this together. And I'm hoping that Jody can show the videos that we had prepared. Jody, will you please roll the video?
Hey everybody, it's Jody Amos with Amos Productions. First of all, I'd like to thank all the mayors and the chambers and all the sponsors for making today's event possible. Thank you very much. As you know, we have pivoted from the live event world to the virtual event world, and we're hosting all kinds of galas and award shows and fundraisers and all hands meetings and political events like today's the Tri-Valley Mayors Summit, as well as other candidate debates and other things going on. Plus, we're doing all kinds of training videos or just straight video production. So if there's anything I could help you out with, I would love to talk to you. Get in touch with me. AmosPro.com is our website. That's the best way. Jody@AmosPro.com is my email. I would love to talk to you and discuss your needs. Thank you. Thank you all.
Hi, Bill Wheeler with Black Tie Transportation. I would like to thank the Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce for facilitating the Tri-Valley Mayors Summit, and a reminder to the community to support your local chambers. They are a critical link to small and large businesses that need them and the community that they support. Black Tie would also like to thank the mayors for their participation, sacrifice, and most importantly, their leadership, something we so desperately need more than anything else at this time. We are honored to be represented here with an amazing group of businesses in the Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce Circle of Influence. These companies all have a clear understanding of the importance of supporting the communities that support them. The very best wishes to you and yours. And remember, when you're ready to travel, Black Tie will be here and ready to serve.
Hi, I'm Ron Gerhard, Chancellor for the Chabot-Las Positas Community College District. On behalf of our Board of Trustees, it is a pleasure to be with you this afternoon. Our district continues to be an economic engine for our region. Last year, we contributed $700 million to our regional economy, directly supporting 7,000 jobs through employment. For every $1 we spend on educating our students, those students receive 6 times that in lifetime earnings. It is an honor and privilege to continue to support you and our students. Thank you for your continued support.
It's only human to pursue the elusive, while also capturing the possibilities, even something like CO2. Over the last decade, Chevron has spent over $1 billion on carbon capture projects and is investing in startup companies working to transform carbon into new forms of energy.
Hi, I'm Catharine Baker, former State Assemblymember who proudly represented the Tri-Valley and Special Counsel here at Hoag Fenton, located in Pleasanton. For over 25 years, Hoag Fenton attorneys have helped businesses and nonprofits, individuals and their families create and build upon their dreams and resolve the challenges and obstacles that might crop up along the way. We're a multi-service law firm, which means our attorneys have the expertise in all the areas of law our clients might need, whether it's business and corporate law and taxation, land use and real estate, litigation and dispute resolution, cybersecurity and privacy, or employment law, family law, or trust and estate. We work as a team for our clients for all the needs they might have. And we work as a team in the Tri-Valley, involved in nonprofits and philanthropic efforts all across our area, including today's Tri-Valley Mayor's Summit. So if you need legal advice to create and build upon your dreams, or to resolve the challenges and obstacles that come along the way, contact Hope Fenton, because we are here for you.
Hi everyone, Sharon Jenkins here, Director of Employer Broker Relations at John Muir Health. John Muir Health is a proud sponsor of this year's Tri-Valley Mayors Summit, and we are here in our Pleasanton Outpatient Center. I know many of you have been here for our fantastic mixers, but as you can see, it's COVID, so no mixing. We will mix in the future, but not right now. And again, I just want to go ahead, and Alyssa's one of our nurses here, and she has some tips for you.
Hello everyone, just as a nurse here at John Muir Urgent Care, just want to ask everyone to continue to please keep your masks on, wash your hands, and please stay socially distanced.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
I want to get into this so we get some good questions asked by our moderator, Catharine Baker. Catharine, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to really tighten up your bio a bit. So I think everybody knows who you are. You served as our 16th Assembly District from Assemblywoman from 2014 to 2018. You're involved with several nonprofits. You now currently work as special counsel with Hope Fenton Law Firm, which is one of our sponsors. So thank you. So you're a California native, which I love. So, and you live in my favorite, well, one of my favorite cities, Dublin. So
be careful.
Yeah, I got to be careful. So anyway, please, thank you for being here, and I'm going to hand it off to Catharine.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you to all of our mayors and also to Kathy Narum and the whole team at Amos Productions and everyone for participating today and for hanging in there with our technical challenges. You know what? It's 2020, so bring it. We've got it covered. And I'm honored to get to be a moderator today. And I hope you share the feeling that I have right now, which is just great to see the faces of our community leaders and others in our community. And so we're going to visit with some questions today. They were developed in advance by the team of folks working to put this together, and I'm honored to get to ask them and get to see our friends. So without any of the delays and jokes that I would normally make you all have to tolerate, I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. Our hosting chamber today is, of course, Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce. So I'm going to go to Kathy Narum, who is filling in as she does wonderfully just in her own right for Mayor Jerry Thorne from Pleasanton. And start off with the first question. We all know that COVID has been a major shock to our economic vitality in the Tri-Valley in many ways for many people. Let's start off with a positive message. What in Pleasanton is a positive economic development that's going on right now, just to kick us off with on a good note?
Great, thank you, Catherine, and it's nice to be here. So every level of government, I think, has been impacted by the pandemic. And in Pleasanton, what we've been trying to do is make lemonade out of lemons. For example, to support outdoor dining and our retail, the city has been closing Main Street on the weekends to help our restaurants and our retailers expand their outdoor capacities throughout our downtown. And because of this, our businesses there have really been thriving, which is great. Specifically on positive economic developments, I'd like to mention a couple that are occurring. First, a council priority is the Johnson Economic Development Drive. earlier this year, the council actually unanimously approved the updated documents central to rezoning this project site. So this will allow Costco to open in Pleasanton, as I know that's really what people are the most concerned about and want to hear. But unfortunately, we've had another issue to tackle. After we approved the supplemental EIR, the environmental docs, we were again served with legal action that contests the sufficiency of the environmental review. We're continuing to address this, and we hope to have a resolution by the end of the year, although candidly, COVID has slowed this down somewhat. I do hope that Pleasanton's mayor next year, sitting here, will be able to say that we've actually broken ground on the Costco. Next, I think it's important to mention that we have had the opening of Omron, which is a new robotics and safety automation business headquartered in our Hacienda Business Park. The $10 million investment in the Pleasanton facility opened right before the county implemented the shelter-in-place order. And their timing couldn't have been better, as Omron's Pleasanton facility will design, test, and manufacture industrial leading robotic and safety automation. Now I think more than ever, this is going to be needed as we navigate the new normal. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the redevelopment of our Stone Ridge shopping center, another one of our council priorities. So Simon Group has been given approval for the first phase of reinvestment in the mall, which involves tearing down the vacant Sears building or part of the mall and making way for a new movie theater, grocery store, retail, restaurants, and outdoor amenities. They've also submitted a concept for phase 2 for the addition of housing next to the mall's parking lot in an area that had been previously rezoned for multifamily housing. We certainly recognize the role that the mall plays in that commercial area, and we're working collaboratively with Workday and 10X Genomics to really create a thriving business center in that area. So those are just a couple of positive things, but there is good news in this.
Positive points, yeah, of economic development in our area. Now, our viewers may not know this, but I'm about to let everyone know. And you did not exceed your 3 minutes, but I'm going to be trying to hold this 2 minutes. So I'm going to be more of an interrupter than I normally am because we have other great cities I want to hear from. Thank you, Kathy, for that. Let's go over to John Marchand from our neighbor to the east in Livermore in your 3-minute moments or less. A positive economic story happening in Livermore. You're on mute, John.
There we go. Okay. Well, we have shown ourselves to be an incredible, resilient community. The way that our business to be able to pivot and really rise above this. We've transitioned our restaurants into outdoor dining, using takeout and grocery pickup, moving to outdoor and virtual exercise classes. We now have yoga classes on the Shea Plaza in front of the Bankhead Theater. We're helping our retailers create online shopping platforms and to redesign their interiors for that 6-foot separation. Industrial shifts have been staggered so we don't have the traffic impacts. We've reduced the risks of shared areas and paired our wineries and restaurants so that they could continue to operate. And now, with this coming Friday, they'll be able to reopen for outdoor wine tasting without the food. So it's freeing them up. We've also seen some very positive changes or some positive trends. Property tax revenue continues to go up based on the strong residential retail, the residential real estate market, and because of the remarkable quality of life that we have. Sales tax was not as catastrophically impacted as had been predicted. We're seeing a slow but steady recovery for our retailers, especially since we've reopened our downtown our First Street. We tried to close it down like Pleasanton did. It didn't work as well for our retailers because of just some of the logistical issues. We tried it, and we listened to the community, and we found out what worked best for them. At the retail outlets, we've opened up two new stores, Marc Jacobs and Loro Piana. Over the outlets, they have 160 of the 180 stores are now open. They've got concierge shopping, VIP shopping helpers, curbside service, delivery as well. The stores have seen an uptick in demand, and with especially for leisure wear and athletic shoes, because everybody's working on that as well. And
The leisure wear makes sense to me. I think leisure wear is probably one of the most popular areas of clothing right now. I'm buying you time there, John, so you can take care of your phone.
Right.
Yeah. So leisure wear.
It's a whole new world, right?
I know. I can see how leisure wear is on the rise. So good point to mention.
And bicycles too.
other-
Bicycle wear is bicycling is going up too. Downtown, we've transitioned to 15 and 30-minute parking stalls so that this helps facilitate the takeout, and also businesses like Waxy Sanitary Supply, and even Sutherland Distillery. Waxy's is working great guns now, and the Sutherland Distillery is taking their Zin gin mix and now converting that to hand sanitizer. Laboratories are working as well with their supercomputers to help model and find cures for the COVID-19. It's a challenging time, so thank you.
Well, wonderful to hear positive news happening in Livermore. And, with our oldest wine grape growing region in the state, which is our Livermore Valley, it's good to hear that they're going to find ways for wine tasting to continue as well. Combine that with the leisure wear, those are good things happening. Well, let's move on to our next neighbor, and that's Dublin. Mayor David Haubert, I know you're on and would love to hear, as a Dublin resident, what are some positive economic news in 3 minutes or less happening in Dublin?
Well, Catherine, you'll be pleased to know that Dublin has always been very financially conservative, and we save money and build reserves, and we have been able to weather this financial crisis very, very well. While we lost $16 million in sales tax revenue, we are able to cover that with our rainy day fund. We always knew that economic recession would happen. It certainly has come on with COVID. We are fully capable of handling that with our reserves. It also means that we're able to press ahead with the capital expenditure projects that we have saved for and are able to continue to complete. For example, right along Dublin Boulevard, across from the Dublin Pleasanton BART station, is a 25-acre Don Biddle Community Park. We've also planned for phase 3 of the Fallon Sports Park. Also, a future expansion of the City Hall, reconversion from our police services space into a cultural arts center, and also Wallace Ranch Community Park, Jordan Ranch Neighborhood Square Park, and a few others, all able to proceed because we have had money in the bank reserved for them. So we will continue business as usual as much as possible because of that. We also have really great continuing projects. The Zeiss Innovation Center continuing to build and almost near completion, bringing hundreds of jobs from the Zeiss company, a world-class leader in lenses and optometry. We're also continuing to add the Elegance at Dublin Senior Living, right across from our senior center and our public library. We will have Elegance at Dublin Senior Facility Living, including specialized nursing operations. 2 hotels coming that will continue to break ground and on track. A Westin Hotel, 4-star hotel, Cambria Hotel over on off of San Ramon Valley Boulevard. In addition, we've been able to attract new businesses coming into Dublin, leasing space. Bay Area Motors, seller of luxury automobiles across the street, will be located across the street from the Dublin Sports Grounds. California Speed Sports and Pro Cycles will take over the Arlen Ness property and building. Mimi's Chocolates moving to town, Recommended Appliances, all companies that are moving into Dublin and leasing space. So we're well reserved for the decline in sales tax, We're continuing to build the projects that we have reserves to build on the capital expenditure side, and we're bringing new businesses into Dublin, a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Thanks, Catherine.
Well, thank you. And that is good to hear that those things are going on. You know, I feel like I'm a resident by osmosis of all 5 of the Tri-Valley cities. And, but yes, Dublin is my home. And I got that expression from our next panelist, and that is Mayor Bill Clarkson, who is in San Ramon. Bill, I see a great bookshelf behind you in a great town. Tell us the positive news that's happening in San Ramon economically. Mute. You're on mute, my friend.
I was trying to be very mindful of not making any sounds here, but thank you, Catherine. First off, is I don't want to sugarcoat what's going on in this pandemic. And the city of San Ramon is doing many of the similar programs as the other cities here in the valley in terms of outdoor dining, the outdoor retail, a number of things we're putting together to help our local businesses. We've actually brought in a firm that's helping many of our smaller businesses navigate the different federal and state programs to get assistance. And that's a tough journey for small businesses. We're lucky in many ways in San Ramon that most of the jobs or most of the people who live in San Ramon and our jobs are white collar, and they are able to work at home, and so their income stream is continuing. And so many of our families are blessed that way. But I've got to tell you, one of our roles as public officials and one of our roles in public policy is to make sure that the decision makers who are public health officials and our state legislatures understand some of the punitive damage that's being done to all of our communities. The issues, not just around the pandemic of the COVID, but making sure we try to encourage all of our health agencies to reopen all of the cancer screening, open up mammogram tests again, making sure cancer screening is going on. It's really important that we focus on and talk about the importance of mental health, especially for our children. And so it's important that we look at it and talk about the really good things that we're continuing, but I think it's important for us as leaders to make sure that we're not forgetting those who might be getting left behind. There are people who are losing their jobs. There's businesses that are not going to reopen. I'm really concerned about our educational system and the fact that we seem to have had we're going to have perhaps a year of education lost for our children. And that concerns me and the things we should be doing as a community to try to get that up and going again. And especially for the families, the young families that may have lost one job out of 2 working couples who have children at home, they're trying to educate on a Zoom call. They're trying to work at home. They're having broadband issues, which means the importance of us having great broadband and as much of our community as possible as we can do. And also being mindful that because of the economic slowdown, many of your governmental agencies are having real shortfalls in taxes. And so we've got to make sure that we can continue to operate and give all the services to our residents. San Ramon has never been a great retail strength, having retail taxes. And so when the retail tax part has kind of gone away, we didn't suffer that much. We have good reserves like our neighbors have done. And so we'll be able to continue services to our residents. But I'm worried about many cities in the state and their ability to provide services ongoing. So it's going to be a tough road. We want to focus on and encourage the positive, but be mindful of those folks who are being left behind. And what are we doing as public policy people to recognize that and work on those issues too? So thank you, Catherine. You're on mute now, Catherine.
It's all fair. We all have to be on mute at least once in this visit together today. So thank you. But there is a positive message there and an important reminder. Our Tri-Valley area, I think, does have ability for many people to work from home, and all of the towns have been financially sound in their reserves. But we have farm workers all across the state who are not only dealing with COVID in order to bring us food, but the smoke from the fires. We have our firefighters, and we have businesses that we know are going to have a hard time ever coming back, if at all. So we are going to get into some of that. I'm glad that you mentioned it. It's important as an awareness. But I want to give Karen a chance to visit with us as well on behalf of the town, not the city, the town of Danville. And what's a positive economic news that you have for us before we get into some of our other questions?
All right. So this nice, great big map of Danville in the background. We've all been walking a lot of sidewalks with the chamber. I can't say enough good things about the chamber and what kind of partner they've been through the COVID experience. There's been a lot of course, changes, but they really have their feet on the ground in Danville. They've worked with our economic director, Joe Bergman, and gone store to store. So one of the most positive economic developments has been the way our businesses have been a part of all the decision making that's occurred throughout this process. And they have been coming, well, we're on Zoom now, right? They've been coming to our Zoom meetings with numbers we've never seen before, sending email, and we've had a lot of extra council meetings as a result and made immediate decisions to help the businesses whatever way they thought they needed to go. And it hasn't always been a consensus, and so but they're working together amazingly well. So the Chamber has been also a partner in making a over 50-page toolkit for all of the businesses to take out and have all the signs, etc. So that particular alliance went into the next step, which was the Danville Recovery Alliance. And that is every part of the community has been a part of that, from the community, from the students, from the businesses, etc. And that's getting things up and going and making sure people feel comfortable going downtown to eat. And Danville's a great food destination, and we've got our small businesses staying open longer. We've had a lot of street closures to facilitate that, and I'm not going to say what they were because they've changed off and on as the businesses changed. That has also. But I can tell you people are comparing us in some of these blocks with the music going on to being in Europe, and part of that is our parklets. The parklets were set up by Danville actually going store to store and putting together maps for the businesses of where they can get the extra seating that's needed to be successful as a business. And so this has been a really important part, and we're going to encourage this to stay. Whether it's Zoom or however it is, having this many more people participate has been a boon for Danville, and it will continue to do so. The reason, of course, they feel so safe in coming down to Danville to eat, etc., and shop is because we are, again, the third safest city for 3 years running, the safest city in California. And I wanted to mention something that's working to make this happen, in spite of being the community here that had to board up all our stores when the riots were threatened. Yeah. The police made everybody feel very safe throughout that process, and they have now found a new way to communicate with the community, which will be a continuing part of our economic development. And it's called 10-8. It occurs every Wednesday from 5 to 6. And our police chief gives a little update of where we stand with respect to our statistics, which of course has been falling crime for 20 years now in a row. And they give other feedback from the senior director, and other people in the community are on that call, and anybody can call in and ask for help or ask for questions of the community. So that's 10-8 program. So I want everyone to be there. The last thing I'm going to tell you, a new partner, and that's the farmers market. They made this book. As I told you, we're a food destination. It has 10 chefs, and with their recipes, like Essen, for example, and everything from the farmers market. So Catherine, you just mentioned the importance of the farmers. They depend on that market that happens every week. So we need everyone to be downtown, and we're pleased with the way people have come back to see the walkability of the town with the new bridges that are coming, and going to come a new bridge across from Riverwalk, and the one that just went to the Eugene O'Neill Park, so that you can walk in a circle around Danville. Thank you.
Nice. Well done. And you get extra time because we had some glitches that kept you from getting to be logged in earlier, and you persisted. So thank you for doing that.
Thank
to
you.
all the panelists, raise your hand and wave it if your town is doing some farmers market. I know they are. So go to those city websites and find out how to go to those farmers markets. They help not only the farmers and the food products, but the small businesses that sell their wares at fairs and festivals in our local area throughout the time. Okay, we're going to another question. And this one is, I'm going to go to Bill first. The one of the things we usually get to experience with the Tri-Valley Mayor's Summit every year in person is the whole community, a lot of people coming together. And it's just wonderful to see their faces and get to shake hands and hug and find out how you're doing and have the panel live and in front of everyone. This year is obviously different, and we're seeing that ripple all throughout our communities. And it makes us wonder, what are the towns in the Tri-Valley doing to support that community feel when we can't have those kind of community gatherings, particularly not only the community feel, but the mental health aspect of it. That's part of our cohesion for seniors and teens and everybody in between. Now, Bill, I know that every other Friday you have the mayor's breakfast that you had before COVID times, where you're bringing together for the entire community questions and valuable information. Maybe that's one of the ways you're helping people stay together. What's San Ramon doing to keep that community cohesion and the mental well-being that goes with it?
Well, thank you, Catherine. And you stole my thunder with the mayor's breakfast a little bit, but
well, I'll give you a testimony. It has been a fabulous series. I hope everyone can adopt something like it, not only for information, but the sense of gathering. But I'll let you describe it.
Oh, thank you. Aside from that, one of the things that we discovered was that one of our at-risk populations were our seniors, because our senior centers got closed. And they were one of the vulnerable ones, not just because they lived by themselves, but because of the COVID virus. And so we repurposed a part of our staff. And they went about and identified about 450 different households in San Ramon of seniors, many of whom were living by themselves, many of whom could not easily go out and get food, get meals, and other services, their prescriptions. They began to feel very isolated very quickly. And by repurposing the staff, primarily in our Parks and Recreation Department, we were able to put together food deliveries, prescription deliveries, and other kinds of services for those 450-odd senior residences around San Ramon. I think that was one of the proudest
continuing? Is that continuing to happen, Bill? Or was
yes,
that just
yes,
in the
it
early
is.
days?
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
Good.
It is something we're still doing. Because our parks and other things are being used differently, because people were not out and about, we were able to repurpose those employees and take care of our most vulnerable. And I want to compliment Kathy Hyman and our Parks Department and how they put together an amazing program for our seniors. The other thing that happened was folks want to get out, but they couldn't spend time in crowded places. So we have extensive trails in San Ramon, about 57 miles of hiking trails and biking trails in our open spaces throughout San Ramon. And we created an app. And the cool thing about the app is you could see all the trails, you could rate them, and navigate your way through them. We found that the use for this app went from, we thought it would be here, it's like up here. It's just amazing, people are using this app and getting out and enjoying our open spaces, which is making one of our priorities, which is protecting open space, protecting existing neighborhoods, and easier sellers are going forward, because I'm not sure I'll get a chance to talk about this, but we have pivoted to not building homes in existing neighborhoods or in our open spaces, our hills. We're going to protect those areas. We're only going to build, if we have to build housing, only in the downtown core area. And as people are enjoying the outdoors, it's making that pivot to focusing the housing in one spot in San Ramon a lot easier. So it works out well. But thank you to our staff.
That app sounds cool. When the air quality was, been watching the monitoring, as a lot of folks have, when the air quality numbers were not good in one part of the Tri-Valley, for some reason San Ramon had better air quality. So app would have been handy.
But this morning, the air quality was really good, and you should have seen all the people out walking this morning. It was amazing. It was great. But thank you, Catherine.
Good deal. You bet. We live along a trail here in Dublin, and so I can see when nobody's out, and I can see when everyone's out. And it's wonderful after the dinner hour to begin to see the walkers come along. So it's nice to see. Well, I want to go to Kathy Narum, because I know, Kathy, same question. What's some of the things that Pleasanton is doing to keep that sense of community and cohesion, as well as the mental health aspect? And I do know that the Pleasanton staff, weren't they also redeployed to help with Spectrum services for our seniors?
They were. Thank you. So, we've done a lot to support our businesses, which I want to come back to, but since you brought up the seniors, we've continued to manage and maintain many of the programs that we have for our senior community, which includes our weekday senior lunch program, which is now being offered for pickup, our paratransit services, Meals on Wheels delivery service, and something I think very important is our Tuesday talks with friends via Zoom, so that there's some sense of community among our senior population. But in addition to the seniors, we've worked hard to coordinate the drive-through food distribution that happens weekly at the fairgrounds for our residents of the eastern part of Alameda County that may be in need, to support them. And in terms of our businesses, our staff has maintained a business support page highlighting the different programs from federal, state, and Pleasanton. We have a business support program, or business support fund loan program, which we the council recently increased up to $10,000, and some businesses, depending on their size, can get up to $20,000 zero interest loan to help with their payroll, their rent, their purchase of PPE supplies. And I also want to acknowledge, I think one of the things that we've really done a great job is continuing to work in partnership with our chamber, or with our local businesses, with our Chamber of Commerce, our Pleasanton Downtown Association, our Hacienda Business Park, to really make sure that everybody's on board and knows about our programs, which include, besides the loan program, webinars, a weekly e-newsletter, and open for business signage, among many things. So I think we've really tried to do that. For just general people, we now have a rental assistance grant program where people can apply to receive up to $2,500 per household to help pay for their rent for those impacted by the pandemic. We're very proud of that, trying to help our most vulnerable citizens in this that haven't done anything wrong but are struggling. And then I want to comment about teens. Recently, I think in partnership with the City of Livermore, our Livermore Pleasanton Fire Department, both Pleasanton and Livermore school districts, we had students from Foothill High School produced and debuted a short video entitled Teenage RX, which addresses the impact of drug and opioid, I can say it, use in our communities. This will be shown in all our local schools. You might have seen a snapshot of it on Channel 5 news segment where it was featured. Really encourage you to go to the Livermore Pleasanton Fire Department Facebook page. The video is there, and take a look at it and see what you think. So those are just a few things that we're doing, but we're really trying to encompass both the business side of the community as well as our residents, and really be in a sense a total community. So
good to hear. And I know you've got both the rental and the business loans. Again, just so our participants can see today, other mayors, if you can raise your hand, if your town has either a rental assistance or a business loan program. I know Dublin, pretty sure had one, and some of the other towns have had them. So check out the websites at those towns. And I know Pleasanton has a lot of good information there. Thank you, Kathy. That's good ways in which the community's staying together. And Karen, tell us what is, I'm just now randomly going from one Tri-Valley mayor to the next. So there you go. But Karen, tell us again how Danville is helping with that cohesion as a community and even the mental health component that comes with that for seniors, teens, or otherwise.
Particularly for seniors and teens, I think it's the ones that have the most trouble with the sheltering in place. And of course, we have Discovery Center in the center of town, and a lot of organizations are helping support them in their efforts to help those people who have special needs. Sorry, my picture keeps going off.
Can you just say about 10 seconds of what Discovery Center is for those, because this goes out to all of the Tri-Valley. Yeah.
Discovery Center does counseling to families and students, and there's no charge if they can't pay it. And they will help the kids that have, different things that they're facing. And the not having school has been a huge thing to face for kids. But the going back to the question, virtual classes have been extremely important to everybody, and they've been very, very popular. And this is one of the things that's going to continue, because if you can have a class that has a third of the class on virtual, on Zoom, and 2/3 that are in person, ultimately, when we get through COVID, we have a lot more people benefiting from that cohesion. We've also had a lot of calls go out to our seniors and helping them with a new senior newsletter that comes out, and it tells them, what movies to watch, what books to read, and what 211 will do for them, and those kind of issues. So that's extremely important. It also tells them about the frozen food program. They can pick up 5 meals each week and take them home and make sure that they have what they need to be healthy. Probably the most important part about the community is, again, all the things that are happening downtown with the cohesion, with all the meals that are being served to people from our restaurants out in the street and the curb pickup. To make that community feel, the hearts are there, the hearts on hearts, hearts around hearts, 5-foot hearts all over Danville, 17 of them that are going to be auctioned off on October 16th. And anybody who bids on one gets to keep it. They've been done by local artists. And they're absolutely amazing.
Colorful. Yeah, they've been painted similar to the boxes, like the utility boxes that are painted in Dublin and other towns. Really
similar to the dogs.
Beautiful hearts, and yes, they are dogs. So check them out because they're gorgeous.
Last year was the dogs. This year are the hearts, and and that, and the fact that we've redone all our heritage resource plaques at the various buildings in a more folksy way will help people when they're downtown to walk around 6 feet apart and see all these things and feel comfortable that they've gotten out in a safe way. So, I mean, obviously there's other things, but I think those are the things that are most important for bringing the cohesion together and people helping others. The last one I have to tell you is about I Can Do That. And this is going to have a groundbreaking tomorrow night. And this is a new place that's going kindergarten through to high school. And it's actually by private people who are putting together 3 performing art centers and a cafe for these kids. They can go there after school, they can study, they can do all these dance. And a lot of it's on Zoom right now. So you can do the dance now and take these classes. So it's going to be an awesome addition to Danville right there on Diablo Road.
Excellent. It's good to hear those developments, and also the hearts on hearts. Those are really beautiful to see. So, and that helps me toggle over to Mayor Haubert. And because I did mention the utility boxes, they're beautiful the way they've been painted all around the town. But what are some of the things that Dublin is doing in your 3 minutes that you have to help keep that cohesion together, and particularly the sense of community, including our seniors and teens?
Well, Catherine, we've been at the switch over and dealing with COVID even since before California issued its shelter in place. We had to cancel our St. Patrick's Day parade and the weekend festivities. And that was a really hard thing to do. It turned out to be the absolute right thing to do, because the following Monday, the state of California went into full shelter in place. And I'm really glad that we did our part to take action proactively and early. And then right from that, we transitioned our staff to working remotely from home where possible, where needed, keeping the city going, but also repurposing staff. As Mayor Clarkson mentioned in San Ramon, we did a lot of the same thing. And our staff then started to help out with Open Heart Kitchen and Meals on Wheels, identifying seniors that could no longer get to the senior center for lunch. We did one extra thing, which is to say that our disabled population, which wasn't getting Meals on Wheels because they maybe weren't of the proper, they weren't old enough. It's for a senior program. We added the people with disabilities who couldn't get out of their home very easily anymore onto Meals on Wheels. So now we have people with severe disabilities having meals delivered to them, and we're picking up the cost for that. But we've come up with some really creative things to do. You mentioned the wonderfully painted utility boxes. We also came out with an Adirondack chair painting contest. I think 30 of them or so stationed around town for people to go. They're like art, painted, very beautifully designed chairs that are a lot like the hearts around hearts in Danville. also for auction that people can take home if they win in auction. But we've also, for the seniors, we did a little drive-through ice cream social where we would give them all the fixings for an ice cream sundae, and they would take that home to eat. But then for the kids, we did shelter in fun and virtual recreation centers where people could go online and take tours of our national parks around the country. And they could even take a virtual tour of a ride down the water slide at the Wave, the new aquatic center that we opened a few years ago. They can't go down it live, but they can go down it virtually. And the LIVE, Live in Rec program. We're also continuing this in partnership with our school district, allowing for small groups of 12 at a time around 5 different locations throughout the city to have students come, and maybe they don't have the proper equipment at home, or there's not a parent at home. They will have the ability to do their work with their own device, but we provide the internet and a live tutor to help them get through school as much as well as possible.
Nice to see.
The programs that we have, a loan program, we gave out 65 awards totaling $500,000+. Much of that went to our restaurants, some to our personal services, and some to our retailers. But then I want to follow up at the last part, talk about our economic development team. And they created the Dublin Eats program, where you can shop and buy a meal, save the receipt, and after 10 meals, have a $25 gift card to a future meal in Dublin. Also,
and the meals are in Dublin. The receipts
all
are
in Dublin. That's right. Yeah.
So come on in from other Tri-Valley towns.
Yep. We also have Takeout Tuesday. We celebrate Tuesdays with Takeout Tuesday and Tri-Valley to go. And lastly, I do want to echo all of the other comments. We've been very business friendly, as my colleagues have, in helping businesses pivot and transition to outdoor dining. Some have pivoted their entire model, now selling groceries and other goods from their restaurant storefront. Some going to online ordering, so click and buy and pay online and just come in and pick it up to go. Boba tea is a great one for that. And so others are following. We're continuing to work. Our economic development staff has done a great job, and honestly,
good
Catherine,
praise for them.
They're the best, and anything good that we're doing is they're doing.
Good work, and I know you want to fit that in because I know all of you very much respect and work closely, rely on very professional, hardworking staff that have been pivoting how the city continues to provide its services to everyone in a challenging time. Thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt. Your 3 minutes is up, and I don't have an ejector seat for anyone. But okay, we're going to take a break in just a moment. But first, I want to make sure John Marchand gets to answer that question as well. And that is going to be just, again, what Livermore might be doing to keep that sense of cohesion, and particularly on the mental health support for seniors, teens, and others, in 3 minutes or less.
Right. Well, thank you. So one of the things that we found is people are frightened. They're concerned. They want information. So one of the things that was very key very early on was to get information out to the community. And this is an interesting balance, because the only thing that I got more complaints on that people weren't getting enough information, or they were getting too much information. So it's that balance. But the city, we put out videos, we put out community letters, we did a lot of social engagement. I spent a lot of time on Nextdoor, because people had questions. They were frightened, and they needed to hear from the community leaders what was happening. What we did is we put them in touch with the original sources of the information, the Alameda County Health Department. We had daily updates on our webpage, daily web updates on Nextdoor and on social media, Facebook, to get the information out to people. In addition, what we did is we had a series of declarations of local emergency, and we had emergency orders to protect businesses, to protect the community members, the eviction moratoriums, the relief from the city taxes or fees, those types of things. We've worked very closely with our partners, individual businesses, as well as our Chamber of Commerce, our Livermore Downtown Incorporated, the Livermore Wine Growers Association, Innovation Tri-Valley, the East Bay Economic Development Alliance, Bay Area or urban manufacturers. A lot of folks tried to coordinate the effort, coordinate the message. We helped folks by simplifying the application process for permits in our community, and also to help them apply for funds for state and federal programs like the Payroll Protection Program and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program as well. On Monday night, the City of Livermore, the council voted the largest financial support package that we've come up with yet. It's a citywide small business assistance grant program. It's $2 million. And that's awarded as a 50-50 match for businesses that need to transition to the new post-COVID-19 environment. If they need to buy tents, heaters, tables, chairs, set up a new e-commerce platform, that type of thing. We've also been working very closely with the school district and other community partners like Spectrum, which is one of our Livermore grantees, Spectrum Community Service, to provide services and outreach to seniors. The Senior Support Program. LARPD is also working with their virtual classes, their outdoor fitness programs. Call a Senior program to help the seniors and folks feel connected and to remain connected in the community. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of tremendous partners working with this community.
Awesome to hear. And I think what a couple of themes that folks, hopefully our listeners can take away. One is how much the local cities have been working to support their towns and others in the Tri-Valley. They're not waiting for the state government and the federal government, that you've been doing that. And I want to highlight something that none of you mentioned, but I know is happening, how much you've worked together, that you're regularly connecting with one another. Your city staff, I know, are, and the testing that's happening at the fairgrounds, that is for the Tri-Valley, and it's funded by Livermore, Dublin, Pleasanton, Stanford Valley Care, and the County of Alameda. That's a collaborative effort. So I think folks can feel good about that. And finally, if the participants have heard something today, gee, I didn't know that town was doing that program, or that this was a possibility for me to stay connected for my kids, my family, my business, or my employer, check out the city and be sure to amplify these messages and be a megaphone for the folks who are doing these programs, because they're here to help. Now, I'm going to do a speed lightning because we are going to be a little shorter on time today. And I just want each of you, it's your last Tri-Valley Mayor Summit for 4 of the 5 on this call, because you're terming out as mayors. And, Karen will be rotating off at the end of this year as mayor of the town of Danville. If each of you could take just one moment to identify one area that you're most proud of as your service as mayor, or in Kathy's as vice mayor, and maybe one area that you wish you might have been able to accomplish. If you can hit those 2 briefly, I think that's some new information for our listeners. And I should start it off. Why don't we go with Karen? And I don't hear Karen. Karen, I think you're still on mute.
There we go.
Go
okay.
for it.
All right. So
real quick,
the little time, I'm going to tell you the 2 things that I'm most proud of. And that's the Veterans Building, which serves also as our senior center. And we worked for 8 years on that. And is the center of our town and has a museum in it, which then complements all my museum service in other ways to the other museums. And the second one is our park improvements, which has been my focus forever in all the fields. I'm still coaching after 35 years, and we're still using those fields all the time. And now we have designed a new skate park, which when we get a regular budget and not one that's COVID damaged, we will be able to start building that park. So those would probably be all the ways that we've helped a lot. There's a lot more in parks with trails and all the things that benefit both our seniors and our teens.
Something you would like to have accomplished? Anything, Karen, on that one?
I would like to have been a little farther along on Valley Link. I've served with all these mayors here, which is going over the Altamont Pass. We accomplished the Caldecott Tunnel, but we just, Valley Link, all I can say is kudos to Scott Hegarty and his leadership for that, and for all the mayors for serving on that to help the Valley get over here. Thank you.
You got it. And that's, of course, very close to my heart, as that was the bill one of the bills I authored my year. And I'm grateful to the Tri-Valley mayors for being on that and a part of it. So let's take it. We're just coming down 680. Bill, something that you're most proud of and what you kind of wished you'd been able to accomplish.
These last 5 or 6 years, we have really focused on protecting our open spaces, our hills, the Tassajara Valley, the Western Hills, and our existing neighborhoods. And we were able to sweep almost all the housing off of those areas that have been zoned and to focus it and concentrate it just in the downtown area where the jobs are, the transportation, the retail, our new city hall, our new library, our new Bollinger Canyon overpass that will be constructed, Central Park. It's literally a 300-acre, very urban experience, and protecting the rest of San Ramon from development. I'm very proud of that. And I've got to say, there isn't much left on the table that wasn't accomplished that I was frustrated by. We were able to get that project done, and so I feel walking away satisfied.
Well, I know with City Walk happening and the challenge that will come away on that one, we'll hope that makes some progress along the way. So in your time. Now, let's take it, David. What's something you're most proud of and maybe you would wish you'd had accomplished if you'd had that extra moment?
Catherine, I want to say that serving the last 6 years as mayor, 2 years as council member, and 10 years before that on the Dublin School Board have been the most rewarding years of, and experiences of my life. And I'm very proud of our accomplishments in Dublin. Working together, we've helped to build some wonderful new parks. I'm very proud of the Dublin Sports Grounds All-Ability Playground, the improvements to Emerald Glen Park, namely the Wave Aquatic Center, one of the Northern California area. Also improvements to Fallon Sports Park Phase 3 upcoming. I want to say that we've also done a great job of building out infrastructure, 100-year replacement of the Tassajara Culvert, widening and repaving of Doherty Road and widening of Dublin Boulevard to help people get around town a whole lot better. I want to say
David, I know that list is long, and I know I'm interrupting.
Yeah. We've provided 2 school sites for the school district, unheard of in the state of California.
It's true.
2 new school sites for the school program. And then I want to say, Catherine, what we have to look forward to, we've already started it, but we need to make progress on it, is the extension of Dublin Boulevard to connect to North Canyons Parkway in Livermore. And then lastly, I'm going to re-echo what my colleague from Danville said. Valley Link has to be done, something that I've been proud to champion and sponsor, the Joint Powers Authority before the Valley Link team that's now in place. And I continue and pledge to keep that project going to the best of my ability if given the chance.
You're just pandering to me because, of course, again, Valley Link was a big project that I absolutely loved, and I'm grateful to all of you for working on it, and thanks for putting in the plug. Pleasanton, Kathy, can you take it away? And actually, I think David said it well, is something to look forward to still happen in the future instead of what we didn't accomplish.
Right. So I know if Mayor Thorne was here, he would be very proud of the installation of the Veterans Memorial at our Pioneers Cemetery. And I also know that he's worked very, very hard and is very proud of the widening of Highway 84. He's not going to quite see the completion of it, but the funding is there and it is going to happen, benefiting Pleasanton residents, Livermore residents, and folks beyond that. I think if he were here, he would say his one disappointment is that he won't be able to cut the ribbon for the renovation of our Lions Wayside Park, where we hold our Friday night concerts in the park during the summer. I think that's his disappointment. And if I could just put a plug in, one of the things in my 7 years that I'm very proud of is that we're very close to completion of Sunflower Hill at Irby Ranch, which is a 31-unit independent living community for developmentally disabled adults. And I think because it is really a community, we really set the standard for this, to serve this part of the population that I think has not been recognized. And finally, I think the other thing, and I know the mayor would echo this as well, we're really proud of our fiscal responsibility and the fact that we established a 115 pension trust with irrevocable trust. And we funded it with about $38 million with the idea that it will be there in 10 years when we're probably going to be looking for councils, and then we'll be looking for funding for the unfunded pension liability. And they'll be able to tap this and not have to affect the services and amenities that the residents have come to appreciate. So we're really, I think, proud of that real forward thinking and doing it for the long term versus maybe spending the money for the short term.
Absolutely, and I hope that our listeners are getting what we might not get very often these days, and that's just good news. These are good things to be hearing and know that are going on. They may not make the front page of the paper, but it is good to know these are some developments happening. So thank you, Kathy, for channeling Jerry Thorne. And he could still go to that ribbon cutting. He just might not be able to hold the scissors. John Marchand in Livermore, something that you're most proud of and something that you look forward to. Didn't happen. You might have liked it to be, but you look forward to it in the future. And you're on mute.
And that was my best line. After 9 years of some of the most turbulent, disruptive times in our history, being part of 9 years of good governance is very, very fulfilling for me. It's been a tremendous privilege to support our national laboratories that are working on some of those difficult problems today. Combustion research, energy efficiency, cybersecurity. As we know, we will never have national security until we have energy security. The high performance computing, coronavirus, of course, being a chemist and going to Moscow to name an element after my city was a high point. We fulfilled a promise that was made 58 years ago. And tomorrow we're going to take the fences down around Stockman Park in our downtown. It's dedicated to our stockmen. And that was a promise made 58 years ago. And now it's finally been realized. And that's a place where children can play and families can gather in the middle of our downtown. Since I became mayor, the city of Livermore added 57 new pieces of public art, which contribute to everybody's quality of life. As Picasso said, art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. I'm proud that after 30 years, we were able to build a new council chambers, naming it after our former mayor, statesman, and war hero, John Shirley, and naming a new emergency operations center after our town founder, William Mendenhall. I was unable to complete Livermore Plaza, which is dedicated to the city's relationship between our national laboratories and recognizing Livermore's place in the world of science and heavy particle physics. And it's my hope that I'll be able to break ground on that before I leave office. But being the mayor of a remarkable city like Livermore has been a profound honor. And I thank everyone who has been a part of that, and especially the voters who entrusted me with our city. So thank you. It's been a great time.
Well said, John. And I know that your colleagues on this visit today feel the same way. Certainly as I did it, a deep honor to represent and to work with others collaboratively here at the local level to see the quality of life improve as a result, and to really take good care, especially when you're going through more challenging times. So, well, I want to thank you all for being on this call. Before we go, we are going to show a video about our sponsors, but I do want to say this to the participants today. These mayors that you see before you have spent many, many years in service to their community and working collaboratively together. And we're in a time of great change now because they are transitioning off their leadership roles, although Karen is just transitioning to a council member from mayor for the next year. And I want to say thank you for the privilege of getting to work with you and for all you've done working together and the good of the Tri-Valley. And look forward to making sure you're still involved, whether you're holding the scissors at the ribbon cuttings or not, that you're still giving so much of your valuable experience and knowledge and energy to our Tri-Valley area. And with that, I'm going to let our Jody Amos Productions take it over with a video of our terrific sponsors today. And then Steve Van Dorm from the Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce will be closing it out for us. So thank you for having me, and take it away, Jody.
Hey everybody, it's Jody Amos with Amos Productions. First of all, I'd like to thank all the mayors and the chambers and all the sponsors for making today's event possible. Thank you very much. As you know, we have pivoted from the live event world to the virtual event world, and we're hosting all kinds of galas and award shows and fundraisers and all hands meetings and political events like today's the Tri-Valley Mayors Summit, as well as other candidate debates and other things going on. Plus, we're doing all kinds of training videos or just straight video production. So if there's anything I could help you out with, I would love to talk to you. Get in touch with me. AmosPro.com is our website. That's the best way. Jody@AmosPro.com is my email. I would love to talk to you and discuss your needs. Thank you. Thank you all.
Hi, Bill Wheeler with Black Tie Transportation. I would like to thank the Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce for facilitating the Tri-Valley Mayors Summit, and a reminder to the community to support your local chambers. They are a critical link to small and large businesses that need them and the community that they support. Black Tie would also like to thank the mayors for their participation, sacrifice, and most importantly, their leadership, something we so desperately need more than anything else at this time. We are honored to be represented here with an amazing group of businesses in the Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce Circle of Influence. These companies all have a clear understanding of the importance of supporting the communities that support them. The very best wishes to you and yours. And remember, when you're ready to travel, Black Tie will be here and ready to serve.
Hi, I'm Ron Gerhard, Chancellor for the Chabot Las Positas Community College District. On behalf of our Board of Trustees, it is a pleasure to be with you this afternoon. Our district continues to be an economic engine for our region. Last year, we contributed $700 million to our regional economy, directly supporting 7,000 jobs through employment. For every $1 we spend on educating our students, those students receive 6 times that in lifetime earnings. It is an honor and privilege to continue to support you and our students. Thank you for your continued support.
It's only human to pursue the elusive, while also capturing the possibilities, even something like CO2. Over the last decade, Chevron has spent over $1 billion on carbon capture projects and is investing in startup companies working to transform carbon into new forms of energy.
Hi, I'm Catharine Baker, former State Assemblymember who proudly represented the Tri-Valley, and Special Counsel here at Hope Fenton, located in Pleasanton. For over 25 years, Hope Fenton attorneys have helped businesses and nonprofits, individuals and their families, create and build upon their dreams and resolve the challenges and obstacles that might crop up along the way. We're a multi-service law firm, which means our attorneys have the expertise in all the areas of law our clients might need, whether it's business and corporate law and taxation, land use and real estate, litigation and dispute resolution, cybersecurity and privacy, or employment law, family law, or trust and estate. We work as a team for our clients for all the needs they might have. And we work as a team in the Tri-Valley, involved in nonprofits and philanthropic efforts all across our area, including today's Tri-Valley Mayors Summit. So if you need legal advice to create and build upon your dreams, or to resolve the challenges and obstacles that come along the way, contact Hope Fenton, because we are here for you.
Hi everyone, Sharon Jenkins here, Director of Employer Broker Relations at John Muir Health. John Muir Health is a proud sponsor of this year's Tri-Valley Mayors Summit, and we are here in our Pleasanton Outpatient Center. I know many of you have been here for our fantastic mixers. But as you can see, it's COVID, so no mixing. We will mix in the future, but not right now. And again, I just want to go ahead, and Alyssa's one of our nurses here, and she has some tips for you.
Hello everyone, just as a nurse here at John Muir Urgent Care, just want to ask everyone to continue to please keep your masks on, wash your hands, and please stay socially distanced.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank all of you for participating, all the mayors, and I think Catherine had to jump off for another meeting. She did a great job. I appreciate your flexibility and understanding. We had some very challenging technology issues, but we got through it. This will be recorded. This was recorded and is being recorded, and we would be posting it and sending out the link for to review in the future. So again, I want to just give a big shout out to our sponsors who you saw some of the videos: Alameda County Fairgrounds, Amos Productions, Black Tie Transportation, Chabot, Las Positas Community College District, Chevron, Hope Fenton, John Muir Health, and Stanford Healthcare Valley Care. And I also want to thank my staff, Susie Weiss, particularly for trying to pull this all together in these very challenging times. Again, you can view the recording on our website, and we'll be sending it out to all the chambers after later today. And I just ask that everyone stay safe, wear your mask, and please support our local businesses. Thank you all for listening in, and thank you, mayors, for all that you've done for our communities. Take care, everybody.